Here we will see array functions in PHP. First function is array fill, which fills an array with count entries of the value of a value parameter, the key starting at the start index parameter. General syntax is array fill, then index, then number and then value, where index is the first index of the returned array, number specifies the number of elements to insert, and value specifies the value to use for filling the array. Here I defined an array A1 and B1. With A1 I use the array fill function with 3, 4 and blue. And with B1 I use the array fill function with 0, 1 and red. The output will be array. The index value starts with 3. Then 4 elements, that is 3, 4, 5, 6 are filled with value blue. In B1 starting index will be 0 and only one value is filled, that is red. Next is array fill keys, which fills an array with the value of value parameter using the values of the keys arrays as keys. The general syntax is array fill keys with keys and value, where keys is the array of values that will be used as a keys and value specifies the value to use for filling the array. Here I define the array keys with values A, B, C, D. Here I use array fill keys with the array name as a key and blue is a value. Then it will use values of the array as a key value, that is A, B and C, D, and it will assign blue as a value for that keys. Next is array intersect, which compares the values of two arrays and returns the matches. General syntax is array intersect array 1, array 2 and array 3, where array 1 is the array to compare from, array 2 is an array to compare against, and array 3 is optional. Here I define two arrays A1 and A2 with values and keys as A red, B green, C blue and D yellow, and array A2 with values E red, F green and G blue. And when I use array intersect function for A1 and A2, it will return A as a red, B green and C blue. That is, it will compare the values, that is red, green and blue, which are common in the both the array. Next is array intersect associate, which compares keys and values of the two or more arrays and returns the matches. General syntax is array intersect associate with array 1, array 2 and array 3, where array 1 is the first array that with the others will be compared. Array 2 is an array to be compared with the first array. Array 3 is optional, which is used to compare with first array. Here I define two arrays A1 and A2 with these values, and when I execute the array intersect associate, it will print A red, B green and C blue. That is, it will compare the keys and values both and return the values that are matches. Next is array intersect key, which compares the keys of two or more arrays and return the matches. General syntax is array intersect associate with array 1, array 2 and array 3, where array 1 is the first array, with that the others will compare. Array 2 is an array to be compared with the first array, and array 3 is also an array that is compared with the first array. Here two arrays are defined with name A1 and A2, and when I use array intersect key with A1 and A2, it will return red and blue. Here it will compare the keys of the array 2 array, that is A and C are common, so it will return A and C. Next is array key exists, which check an array for a specified key and returns the true if the key exists and false if the key does not exist. General syntax is array key exists with key and array, where key specifies the key and array specifies the array name. Here I defined an array A with values PHP, Java, and if I use array key exists for PHP, it will print key exists. Next is array keys, which returns an array containing the keys. General syntax is array keys with array value and strict, where array specifies the name of the array, value specifies the value, and strict is used to compare the value. If strict value is true, then it returns the keys with the specified value depending on the type, and if it is false, it will not compare the value depend on the type. Here I defined an array with PHP and Java, and if I use array keys, it will print all the values of that array, that is 0 PHP and 1 Java. If I specified the value, it will print 0 2, that is C# is the second column of that array, and if I use strict value with small c, it will return an empty array, that is if it is strict, it will compare the value with type and key case. Next is array merge, which merges the element of one or more array together and appends the value of one to the end of previous one. If the input array have the same string keys, then the latter values for that key will overwrite the previous one, and if array contains numeric key, the latter value will not overwrite the original value, but it will be appended. Here I define two arrays A1 and A2 with values PHP, C#, PHP, Java, and if I use array merge, it will merge the values, but since the values are string, it will override the PHP and give the value as PHP, C# and Java. And here I defined another array with key values in integer, that is 1, 2, 2, 3, and when I merge these two arrays, it will append the integer value, so the output will be 1, 2, again 2 and 3.